Hadia was a fisherman working the shores of Lake Chandrasar, caught in a relentless cycle of poverty. That changed the morning he pulled up a glowing anomaly from the dark water. It was a golden fish, and it offered a deal. If Hadia could correctly answer 2 riddles based on the laws of nature, identifying a balloon and a cloud, the fish would reveal 3 prophecies about his future. Hadia solved both riddles easily. But rather than hauling the magical catch to the market to solve his immediate financial crisis, he chose to release her back into the lake, purely out of compassion. By prioritizing empathy over an immediate windfall, Hadia established a debt of respect with the magical world. This moment demonstrated that his internal character, rather than a stroke of luck, would dictate the quality of his future. Days later, Hadia's net brought up a Jalpati, a mermaid. When she offered him infinite material wealth as a reward for her freedom, Hadia declined the riches, asking instead for her companionship. This diagram shows the specific mechanics of their union. The transmutation gem provided by a local sage sits perfectly in the middle of the water realm and the human realm, acting as the only bridge that allowed the mermaid to live as a human. Any life built on a single magical artifact has a massive point of failure. While the mermaid visited her underwater home, a passing bird swooped down, mistook the stone for food, and dropped it into a distant waterfall, instantly severing the connection. The fallout was immediate. The mermaid was trapped beneath the waves, leaving Hadia stranded in the human world to raise their 2 young sons, Arav and Vivin, alone. Happiness reliant on a supernatural shortcut is inherently unstable. When the external mechanism fails, the entire foundation of the family collapses. Years passed. Arav and Vivin grew into men, and after learning the truth about their mother, they left the safety of the village to bring her back. Their journey led them to Rishi Vashist, an omniscient sage. He held the knowledge they needed, but he acted as a gatekeeper, requiring them to prove their intent before proceeding. He challenged the brothers with psychological riddles, asking them to identify humanity's greatest enemy, ego, and humanity's greatest power, love. By answering with such clarity, the brothers proved their maturity. The sage provided the exact coordinates to a hidden waterfall where a replacement gem could be found. The sage's questions required a level of introspection the brothers hadn't faced on the road. To navigate this supernatural world, they had to master their internal motivations before they could master the external landscape. At the waterfall, the stakes grew even higher. A magical guardian emerged, threatening the brothers with eternal captivity if they could not solve 2 final riddles. The guardian's first riddle asked for the only thing that must be broken before it can be used. The brothers identified it as a promise. The second riddle involved something that belongs to you but is used almost exclusively by others, your name. With the riddle solved, they claimed the jewel. Back at Lake Chandrasar, they watched it break the surface of the water, finally calling their mother back from the depths. The guardian yielded to the brothers' logic. Their victory relied on a sophisticated grasp of the social contracts, like promises and identity, that define the human experience. Even with the family reunited, the new transmutation gem created a lingering threat. This flowchart shows the systemic risk. The gem allowed her to exist in 2 worlds, but created a constant risk of loss. To end the danger, she had the sage destroy it, shattering the cycle and anchoring her to the human realm. The cost was a permanent transformation. She lost her immortality and her connection to her underwater kingdom, becoming fully human. Shattering the stone transformed her into a permanent fixture of her sons' lives. She chose the finite nature of a human lifespan to ensure the family would never be fractured again. Decades later, an older Hadia returned to the same lake where his journey began. For the last time, he caught the golden fish. This was the final test of his character. After a lifetime of supernatural struggle, would he try to regain his youth or secure more power? Hadia released her immediately. He had seen magical shortcuts fail and artifacts vanish. He knew the only things worth keeping were already waiting for him at home. Hadia walked away from the lake with a different understanding of value. He found that a peaceful life and the presence of his family were the only outcomes worth protecting, far outweighing the potential of any magical wish.